let's get started. I'm actually using the Unity 5, and I really recommend, if you haven't already upgraded to Unity 5. And you know what, I find no reason to not upgrade to Unity 5, because you get all the pro features of Unity 4 in a Unity 5 indie version. Yeah, if you have upgraded to Unity 5, that's really good thing. So to get started, the first and foremost, you're gonna need the FPS arm and the crossbow model, these two 3D models. If you don't have this model, don't worry, go to my website, the link is in the description, and go ahead and download them. So once you have aligned that arm and the crossbow system to the perfect position, this is what it's gonna be. So alright, let's move on now. Next, what you need to do is you need to go to the crossbow system, which is the crossbow model, which is this. And then we're gonna be doing, actually we're gonna be having a GameObject right here, so that will be the point from where we're gonna be emitting the laser. Now you might think, can I not use crosshair instead of that? Of course you can. Instead you will, you know, save ton of time for it, but you know, that's a better idea to use. So you have to go ahead and align the position of the cube. Alright, so once you've kept the cube at the perfect and right position, which is this, make sure that the rotation and everything is perfectly straight, so it's not, you know, pointing in that direction, so it's pointing exactly up front. So once you have that, just rename it to point, I don't know, and then go ahead and drag it onto crossbow. So now it's the child object of the crossbow right now. So once that's done, we need to go ahead and add that's in the component mesh, and then component effect, and it's in the line renderer. So the line renderer is what we're going to be using for the laser. So these are the property of it. So first and foremost, we need to go over to the material, and then for that we need to create a new material. I'm going to go ahead and create a new material. I'm going to name it laser point. Yeah, now we need to make sure that it's actually particle additive. Alright, that's done. Let's go ahead and make it white. Go ahead and laser point. Alright, so once you've kept it in here, now the position 2 is basically the 2 points of the laser. Let me show you something. Alright, so say if this is a gun, or in our case it's the crossbow, so the way the line renderer works, it is this: we set the size as 2, so which means that we're gonna be using 2 point, which is this, the point right here and the point right here. After that, we need to tell the Unity where you want to keep the line render. So we're gonna tell that we want to keep the point 1, which is this point, at exactly at the nozzle of it. In this case it's gonna be right here, and the next point is we need to tell the Unity to you know, put it exactly according to the range and also the direction of it. So that's how the, you know, line renderer works in Unity. So I'm gonna have the width. Now the width and the height is nothing but is the, you know, how the width of the laser itself, simply put it. So I'm gonna go ahead and have like 0.02. that's perfect. You'll get to know the start and the end color is what basically the color you want in your lasers. I'm gonna keep it red as well, and yeah, that's it. Now we have the line render added to the point, that is this object right here. So now we're gonna go ahead and create a new script and add it onto it. So just go ahead and create a new C# script, and I'm gonna name it what do I name it? I'm gonna name my bow. Okay, so here's our script right now. I want to delete this all. Alright, so let's look back once again. The job of the bow itself is to emit the laser. So right now that's where we're going to be focusing first. So let's get back. And for the laser, first and foremost, we need to know the range, like how long the laser will be. So I'm gonna go ahead and add public, and the range, I'm gonna have it like 1000. Oh my god, 1000. And then next is the line renderer itself, which is, where the hell is it, which is this line renderer, just because I want to set the start at the end, the starting point, the first point and the end point, this point and this point. Just so I want to set this point with the help of script each and every frame, I need to keep track of this component itself. So for that, I'm gonna create a variable, and that's of the type line render. I'm gonna name it the laser, and it's no. And next, I think, yeah, we need the point itself. Now, like I said, we need to tell the Unity that we need the point to be exactly at the nozzle of it and exactly at the other end of it. So for that, we need vector 3, and then it's going to be the position, that is the starting position. It's going to be vector 3.0, and I'm going to have private vector 3. It's going to be the direction. It's going to be vector 3.0. And I also need one last thing, and that's the endpoint of it. It's going to be also a vector 3 type, and that's going to be the endpoint, or should I just call it the end, vector 3.0. Alright, so that's done. So let's get started with the void start function or method. So at the start, we need to, currently this laser is null, so we need to fill in. So I'm gonna just say the laser is equals to this dot GameObject dot, this is what's actually added in the Unity 5. They actually made it a mandatory, which was not in Unity 4. So you need to, every time you are accessing any new component, which is this is a new component. All of this are new component except for the transform, which is by default there. So if you're accessing any new component, you need to use this statement. So now I need to get component of line renderer, and bam, that's how you do it. Now you have the line renderer, and I'm gonna actually get started with the update method. Okay, so now in the update method, what I need to do is every frame I need to tell the Unity that keep track of my line renderer or the laser. So first and foremost, I need to fill this variable in the post, which is gonna be holding our position each and every frame. Alright, and the direction, this variable will be holding our direction where we are facing each and every second. So this method transform direction actually does that for us. So it takes what direction you want to keep track of. In this case, we want to keep track of the forward direction. So alright, we got two things done. Now we need to use the raycast to keep track of our renderer. So for that, we need one last private variable. Actually, for this video, raycast hit, the hit, that's it, I want to name it the hit with H capital. Alright, so we are actually emitting the raycast here, so we just want to say physics.raycast. Now I'm gonna be using 3 parameter, which is this right here, the origin, the direction, and the max distance. The origin is again the pose, the direction is the direction that I created, and the max distance is the range. So the range, okay, so now we have our raycast emitted. What we want to do now, the reason why we're doing this is because, say, this red line is the raycast, and this blue line is the line renderer. What did I said? Yeah, this red line is the raycast, and this blue line is line renderer actually. So what we want to do is we're emitting the raycast. We only want to care about the endpoint. So just because when we create a line, we don't have to worry about the starting position, because that's there. Alright, that's what this cube is for. It will hold the starting position, but for the end position we will be using the raycast. Alright, so we'll tell the Unity, you need to put the endpoint exactly where the hell the raycast is pointing at its endpoint. So that's where it's gonna be. So it will have to follow it each and every time. So that's how it's gonna work. Hopefully you got what I mean here. So right, okay, so just before emitting the raycast, like I said, you don't have to worry about the starting point of it. So for that, you can directly say this. So this is how we say it. The laser, it's keeping track of the line renderer dot set position, and now the 0 means the starting point, and the position where you want to keep that point is basically the origin, and that's the pose. So that's done. Now the endpoint is what we are concerned about. So we're gonna say the laser dot set position, that's the endpoint, 0 and 1. So what the position will be, the endpoint's position will be, actually, yeah, there's a reason why I created the raycast head. The raycast head contains the information where we're gonna be pointing, but I need to pass it in here. So it's gonna be the hit. Oops. Yep, that's how it's done. Yeah, I'm using this parameter right here. So now I've passed that up. I'm gonna say that will be the hit dot point. So this variable contains the endpoint where our raycast is pointing. So that's there. Now let me show you what's gonna happen if I play right away. I need to test the script. No error, thank you. Alright, let me add the script right there. Okay, line renderer is empty, but alright, that's our thing. Now you saw that glitch right there, right? Now it's fine when our ray is hitting the object around, but what happens when we try to focus up in the sky? Wow, that's what happens, you see. Now this is because what we tell the Unity is, let me tell you what's happening. We set the first point of the laser, in here we set the last point, but only if our laser is hitting any object in the scene. So now you got what I mean here, right? If our laser is hitting any object present in the scene, only then it will follow the position correctly. But if we try to focus it in the air, in the sky, it will not gonna follow it's gonna give you the crazy results. So for that, you need to get out of this if block. So this is basically if the laser is hitting any object, you need to set the endpoint. But if it's not hitting, that is if it's in the air, you need to set the endpoint. That is why I created this variable, the end, which was empty by now, but no more. The end is equals to the position plus the direction times the range. So I'm having the first point and the range, I'm adding it with the range, so that's gonna give me the endpoint. Simple as that. And then I have to set that up. Lastly, the laser dot set position is gonna be 1 comma the end. So if we're hitting any object, then it will set the endpoint this way, otherwise it will set it this way. So hopefully it will work. Alright, I think it's working right now. Yep, it is. So again, if we're hitting any objects like this, it will follow correctly, but if it was in the air, it wouldn't follow that. Now we fixed it, so it will follow now. So that's how we implement the laser system in Unity. Now that we've implemented the laser system, we need to actually start up with the next thing. We emitted the laser, we emitted the ray cast, now we need to create the arrow.